Welcome back to Scripture of the Week. This week's scripture is Daniel chapter 3, verses 16 through 18. And so if you guys don't already know what the story is, this is basically the fourth man in the fire story. And I always love this story because it just makes me realize that God is always with me. That's kind of the main message for today. Let's go ahead and read it. So verse 16 says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied, O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up. Let's talk about it. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were very, very faithful men to God. They were always trusting in him, relying on him. They were going to keep worshiping him no matter the consequences, no matter the outcome of whatever situation they were in. They were just going to worship him. And they are great examples of how we should be today. Their trust in God was steadfast, stable. It was not shaken. And so I know that when I am going through situations and it's not looking the way I want it to, and I really start to kind of lose trust in God, and I'm sure you guys do the same thing. And so we need to instead put more trust in him, even though it's not looking the way we want to, because what we want might not be for us. God might have something even better for us in store if we just wait a little longer, or it just might be a simple not yet. And that's what God's been really teaching me, because I had to really make a hard decision this week. I feel like God is just going to be just working in me because I made this decision. So 3 takeaways. Number 1, we're going to look into verse 16. It says, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. So these 3 men knew that what they said, how they acted towards the threat that King Nebuchadnezzar had said unto them, they knew that whatever they could say or do about it was nothing compared to what the Most High God could do. And so they said that they don't need to defend themselves because God is already going to defend themselves. So some of you guys, myself included, sometimes we try to defend ourselves, but we really just need to sit back and let God do it. Because God is so capable and he is so powerful. We all just have to learn and accept that we really can't do life without God, without Jesus by our sides. And he is so willing to be by our side, and he will always be by our side, just like he was with these 3 men. So the next thing is, in verse 17, these men trusted God so much. They trusted him so deeply to where they were fine with being thrown in the fire. So do you trust God that deeply? And I know it takes time. I'm still trying to do that as well. But we have to really lock in and really try to just trust God at all times. And so something I love about verse 18, which is my last point, it says, but even if he doesn't, we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you've set up. So even if God doesn't, we still have to trust him, because the no or the not yet is most likely, or is all the time, for our good, y'all. And I know we can't understand that because we're oh, well, we really want this. This will be good for us. It might be good for you in this season, but God has such a bigger picture. It says in Isaiah 55, verses 8 through 9, that God's thoughts are higher than your thoughts, just as heaven is higher than the earth. Just keep that in mind. I know that no's and not yet's definitely can hurt. But if we just know that no and that not yet is for a reason, God has something better for us in store. Or maybe we're not ready for what we're wanting. So God is going to prepare us for that, or God has something better for us in store. And so I'm going to shorten it into words for you guys. Number 1, accept. Number 2, trust. And number 3, keep trusting. Ephesians 3:20 can correlate with what I just said. Now all glory to the God who is able, through his mighty power at work within us, to accomplish infinitely more than we might ask or think. Some translations say exceedingly and abundantly more than we can ask, think, or imagine. They all mean the same thing. I love the verses that say exceedingly and abundantly. But yeah, keep that in your mind, y'all. I really hope this helped you. And yeah, let's go ahead and hang my scripture on the board. Hope you guys have a blessed week, and I'll see you again next week for another scripture. Bye, y'all.